Ladies and gentlemen, Michael Palmisano here, and if you're new to the channel, this is just like as if you were to go to your private lesson, you have 30 minutes with your teacher, and you bring them something ice cold that they've never learned before, and you get what you get. You learn what you can, you get the key things to think about as you move on, what to work on, what to pay attention to, but this is not a lesson, and it is not a typical Reacts. So today, I am on my GuitarGate subscribers request Reacts request page, because if you take my lessons and courses, you also get to choose my punishment. So if you came for the feeding, today is a good day for you, because today I'm choosing Randy Rhoads, Ozzy Osbourne, Mr. Crowley, 1981, from Kevin Simmons. Kevin says, I don't think I've seen any Randy on here. Without Randy, I wonder if Ozzy would be known as anything more than the guy who used to sing for Black Sabbath. He goes, no disrespect intended towards Ozzy, but none of his material has been replayable as Crowley, Crazy Train, and other early stuff. Like Stevie Ray Vaughan, I wonder what else Randy would have done or would be doing if he'd been around longer. I wonder that too. Now, for all of you wondering out there, yes, I know Ozzy. I've seen Ozzy a million times. I'm a huge fan. Yes, I know Mr. Crowley. But no, I have never learned it. So hit the button when we do in real time. So don't freak out if I start and stop, right? We're going to try to figure out what's going on here. Let the bludgeoning begin. All right, let's get it. Let's get it. These are arpeggios over basic chord changes, all right? So let's try to get the root notes first. Flat 3, 2, 1 in D minor. So your first chord is D minor. To A minor. So you got so where it rocks over the fifth. So root of A, fifth of A, A. Down to F major. Okay, so you got D minor, so you got to A minor, and then F major, walk up, C major, and again, goes over those octaves. He's got the keys, so it's different each time, but basically it's arpeggio up, octaves down, arpeggio up, octaves down. Back to the beginning. No. Back to A minor. C, B, A. Flat 3, 2, 1. Straight up the scale, going to E. And then same thing. E, B, E. So root, fifth, root. Look at Ozzy pacing around. Yeah, A. lower A. Now, right there, look, don't forget to use your actual visual cues. I'm thinking to myself, okay, that's an A, but I hear a triad change in there. It sounds like a suspension going back to its tonic, right? Like a D minor to A minor. But I had a sneaking suspicion that that was a major triad. It sounded brighter, and I'm looking at his index finger hitting that C sharp. I can see it, right? So let's see if the sound is there. Yeah. So watch his hand, the keyboard player's right hand, and you can see he's getting a D, so that's that suspension of a third, to C sharp to make that sound of A major or A7. So what this is telling us is this is in the key of D minor, A minor, F, C, A minor, and then it goes, then does this. Right? Wild little part here. B flat, F, G, F, to D. So it's like D harmonic minor. Whatever. Anyway, the key takeaway here is the pattern is an arpeggio followed by root fifth root. Arpeggio, root fifth root. And then it makes its way in that same formula getting to A7, or just A with the C sharp in it to get that leading tone back to D. But your key center is D minor, so this would be D minor, be a 5, A minor. It would be your relative major, F, right, and to C. So we're all in key so far.
Mr. Crowley, what went on in your head?
Yeah.
Oh, Mr. Crowley, did you talk to the dead?
No.
Uncovering things that were sacred, then there's always you fooled all the people with magic. Yeah, you waited on Satan's door, Mr. Charming.
That's a wild little lick there. So it's just D. Then it's like, you're just like reaching over to get that flat 3. But you're getting it, that low F down here. Might hit that A right before it. I would certainly put that 5th in the bass of D, so like D, and then fat, and then let it bleed through. That sounds huge. Anyway, keep going. Look at that little look Randy did. He loves it. Yeah, you might even just do an A. Your basic progression, D minor. We're staying in key here, nothing crazy. You got B flat, so that's your flat 6. This little lick. Yeah. This A, B flat, C. Again, we're all in the key of D minor or its relative major, F major. Nothing squirrely yet. Wasn't this slow before? Bass player. That little lick there, there's something squirrely in there. Ba-da-da-da. Ba-da-da-da, ba-da-da-da-ba. No. No, 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 no. No, 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 no. No. Nope. Nope. Yeah. All right. It's a sequence in a set of four. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, right? But here's what's squirrely here. Key of D minor, right? No craziness in here, right? Bass is on D, and he comes in with D, D sharp, C. Root, flat 9, right? One step above the tonic. And then makes a sequence. It's not note for note, but basically it's just this pattern. Ends on D. So if this was one scale, right, you would have that D sharp in D here as well, but it doesn't. It has right? So it's like a D. It's like that little flat 9 is the color note, but then it's because it doesn't do it there. So it resolves back to D major. What a way to just push it! Really grabs your ear. It's just like, what the hell was that? You know, whatever the sequence was. But that is a crazy thing to do there. But it really just pushes you to the next part. It just grabs your attention. That one little note. So slow. Look at Ozzy loves it. There's that 5. Did it again over E. Woo! Okay. If you came for the feeding, now's the time, right? You get to see me get bludgeoned. All right. So, obviously, everybody knows this song. And Randy was great at making really memorable lines and motifs that non-musicians can expect. So he does the same, give or take, solo live as he does in the studio, right? What I was expecting to hear is what I heard. Let's do our best here. It's been a... Well, no, we got to go back. So slow. So we're starting off D minor for sure. Something like that, right? But the key takeaway is D minor. Pattern 4. We're definitely in here. Doing this little Chuck Berry. Something like that. And there's your sequence again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Sextuplet. Listen to it. So really when you have here, you got to get the first note. So it's like, like but. Not exact, but the key to playing these things fast with feeling is to get where the stick and go is, what I call it. It's like the it's not even strokes all the way across, right? You got there's subdivisions of pulse within these sextuplets, right? Like right? And that's what you focus on. Again, not exact note for note, but the rhythm here is what to focus on more than anything. This is definitely straight up D minor pentatonic. Not that. He definitely, down here, adds in some flat fives and stuff down in this. But definitely. But then, all right, so we're getting to, here's our goal, right? Our goal is that high D. We're keeping with the sextuplet grouping of 6 sequence as we go up, but we're transitioning from this going across the pattern to up. But there's clearly notes that sound non-diatonic, not in key, incorrect if you will, whatever. Sounds like a pattern. So you're keeping the same set of 6 feeling, but you're trying to find the pattern that gets to it. My gut feeling is he probably, you know, it's Randy. He probably took a few passes and picked the best one and relearned it because I know he would take his leads. But my gut feeling is he's has 3 favorite fingers, right? That he's just leading up and finding a pattern to get up to here. So that you know that so sloppy. But it doesn't sound exactly in key. There's something squirrely in there. All right, I'm not gonna hurt myself too bad, but just know that when you go and slow this down, and when you work on this and you look up the tabs and all the things that you do to find the right notes, just know that the key takeaway in here is the sense of rhythm and timing and where the pushes are in those set of 6. It's not right. It's right. There's subdivisions within the pulse. That's what the bass locks in on with the drums, and that's what makes it pop. That's how you make these fast parts fluid like this. You get the rhythm down, get a feel for the sextuplet and groupings of 6 in sequence, and then put the notes to it. Put the notes to it. That's definitely what he did the first time around. And then found the ones he wants, or maybe screwed up and relearned them and said, hey, that sounded hot, you know? But that's what to focus on. So again, we're in, oh, sorry, forgive that little pop. So we're in D minor, pattern 2. So flat 7, flat 6, 5, 4, flat 3, 2, 1. And he's just doing that legato thing. But again, he's still thinking in terms of that grouping of 6. You can hear it, the sequence descending. The bend really breaks it up too, by the way. But you can hear, you can see, plain as day, he is targeting that E over the E all day. That he's just gonna get there, right? You know. right? That's the goal. The goal is to go down, groups of 6, stick and go, hit the E, accentuate that change. Same basic thing, bending up, and then doing the same grouping, and then bending that G to the A, and here comes the bar, and now, right? Sequencing. I forgot how much I loved sequencing. Randy was the king of this. But much more punctuated and articulated this time. Again, D minor. Flat 3, 1, flat 7, 5. And then jumps into regular D Aeolian, if you will. You see him. Watch. Again, use your cues. This isn't like black magic. I'm using an educated guess of basic music theory, and I'm watching the dude, right? And I've heard these licks before, so I'm anticipating movement. Not necessarily licks, but descending, ascending, right? So you can watch it right here. He moves into the, adds that flat 6, that 9, and that gets him right back down into this zone. And we'll see what he does here. Yeah. Again, it's still the same legato style sequencing. It's just D minor down here. Breaking it up again with those same bends, right? In this bend, again, G, A, same way you did up here. So it's that constant back and forth between those groups of 6 sequences in D minor, pentatonic, down to just regular D minor, D Aeolian, and then targeting that E over that E, really get that dominant kind of push, and then, you know, breaking it up with those big bends towards the tonic. That's what's happening. I love that. Where are we? Grabbing that C. Yeah. See, right there, I freaking knew it. He does that flat 9 thing again, but it's over the E. Hear it? Maybe he does it down here and I missed it. Now this is in regular D minor. But what's cool about it is he does it while the bass is hitting the E. Right? Very wild sound. Very like wherever they may roam kind of thing. Dig it. Where are we going? No. Ooh. I love Randy. He's so classical, right? These little lines. And then C sharp, baby. Remember, you heard it before? Again, A7, A major, right? C sharp, the major third of A. We didn't go to C this time. And then and then instead of resolving to the G, hits that harmonic and just lets it go. It's so bitchin' because it's so classical. And what you hear in these players that are classically influenced is the use of a single note here or there to add that singular push, that singular tension, to change the function of that chord, of that harmony in a specific spot. It's not this song is in the key of blah, and we solo blah. It's this time here, and this flat nine's a little color here, this C sharp, right? This is what makes us that harmonic minor. This is what's gonna be the leading tone back to D. It's in specific spots. It's not the whole way through, and I love it. Hold on, let me hit the button here and make sure we don't lose our video. All right, we're back, let's go. What a band, too. It's so slow, it's almost like he doesn't know where to put the fills. With the bass move. Yeah. I don't have a bar. Jakey Lee would say, who gives a shit, right? But. Yep, D minor. Yeah. And then the. Yeah. Again, we're at the 4 and flat 3 in D. We start out with a. Get down there with a little sequence, then get the. And bars down and up, right? But it's just. You're playing around with the 3, or sorry, the 4 and the flat 3 of D minor. So when it goes down into the 9s. When it goes up into the flat 5s. All the kids are doing it. Oh yeah, forgot about this part. Okay. All right. I forgot about this part. We just got a big clue in there, and I didn't even... This thing will screw it up again. I hate this microphone. All right. Watch Randy here. Right there. So before, in the intro and everything, again, visual cues are huge. We do the best we can here. But it went to an E. I'm just assuming it's E minor, right? Even though in the key of D minor, that would make no sense. You muscle through these things. E diminished is what would be in the key, right? And so what do we see Randy do here? We see him come out of this B flat, right? And this is where it goes, well, in the intro, right? But it goes to that E, and you're like, what do we do with this E? Right there, he does this, sorry. He does this, now what is this? What is this? And here you go. Now I get it. So what this is I mean, so it's E, the flat third of E, right? It is the flat 5, the flat 5. And then if it was staying full diminished here, right, we would also have the major 6th, right? If it was like E minor 7, flat 5, like. But just this little piece of the diminished, right? You got 1, flat 3, flat 5. It's just a minor third apart. 1, flat 3 up, Flat 3 up, although that note is not in there in the chord, but that's it. Now I get it. That makes sense. But just to show you how much Randy is aware of his little chord tones and stuff in there. So even though over the solo section, when it hits that, you hear him target that E, I would not be surprised if you heard him sometimes go, right, and play that diminished scale, just stacked minor thirds. And that's too heady, go. I love that they do this thing twice, just like the intro. That was a hot little run there too. So over the C. All those little rhythm parts, man. So over the C major, right, is your root and major third. All these double stops. Piece of D minor, piece of E minor, or obviously E diminished. Yeah. Forgot about how awesome this outro solo is. Yes. 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 Look how confused Ozzy is. He's like, was it over? What just happened? Okay, man, this is what I came for. Okay, here we go. Let's give it a shot. Let's give it the old college try here. I know this is going to be longer than usual, but what a great damn version this is. God, he sounds good. Okay, again, starts off straight arpeggios. First chord's D minor, right? We're going to guess D minor up here. We're going to look at it, right? Fifth, flat third, root. Right? He's got another tone in there going somewhere, but it goes. Pinky goes up a step. Over the C. Over the C, again, fifth, major third, root. And I'm just going, I'm hybrid picking and pulling off. I know that's not what he's doing, but that's what I'm doing, right? It's different styles, whatever. Now, over to the, something weird's happening. It's like, oh. I'm getting beat up here. Okay. There it is. There it is. What is going on here? Why can't I hear this? There it is. There's that E diminished. Flat 3, root, flat 5, root. I knew it would come back. I freaking knew it would come back. Sometimes the ears, they just, you know, this is why it's good to learn music theory. A lot of you out there, I was guilty of it too. We're like, I'm not going to learn theory because it's going to limit my creativity. I'm going to come up with things that meet the theory instead of, you know, things that just sound good. There's a case to be made for that, but there's also a really adult case to be made for if you know the theory, then you have a very good understanding of why things sound good. And you can put words to, you know, why something goes together and most people think it sounds good. Why most people say, oh, it is good, it sounds good. When you understand that, you can take educated guesses like what you saw me do right there. I was like, okay, I bet we're gonna see a stacked minor third somewhere in here. And I'm hearing it and I'm like, what could it be? I'm hunting for the note and then it hits me. I'm like, oh my God, that's that diminished sound. You've been working on this sound for 20 years. That's what it is. It's minor third and flat 5. Hello in there. Anybody there? And you hit it and it's right. And now I'm making this mental connection. So the idea is the more times you stop when you learn something, you say, that's what this is. That's why this sounds good. The quicker you get to the place where you have that in your bag to use anytime you want forever. Learn the why, not just the notes. Learn the why. I beg you, I beg you. Okay, enough preaching. I love these licks. First and second finger that they... Where, I don't even know where he is. Yeah, I think he's just E and leading, or D in the leading tone. Man, see, this is what I'm talking about. This is a pattern you might come up with not thinking theory first. You're just thinking shapes, right? But then you put the theory to it, right? It's just first and second finger. Right here, move it over, move it down 3. But then you put the theory to it, and you can use it anytime you want. You say, this is major third and leading, this is your tonic D and your major 7th, your leading tone, C sharp, right? Move it over. This is now A and B flat, right? So this is your 5th and flat 6th. Move it over again. This is your, again, 2nd and minor 3rd, and then move it down, and you're back where you started, your root and major 7. So these little moves, when you know in your heart and in your head and in your ear that I can play out of key things in an instant to create a push, to create that leading tone, right? And then resolve it back to the tonic center, it becomes that little suspension of your harmony. This is what I love about these classical players. I said it before. It's moment to moment, and it's very purposeful. It's a choice. And that's why learning these things is such a big deal. It's why Randy was famous for taking a guitar lesson by a player everywhere he went to town. The dude was very, very cerebral, but he didn't let that, dare I say, cerebrosity? He didn't let that intellectual part of his brain get in the way of his fingers. He was pattern-based. He was very committed to sequencing and building these little motifs. And it's very clear he would get to certain spots and then choose to elevate it or deteriorate it with these little tools in his tool bag when he saw fit. And it makes for like wild and crazy shit that you would never ever come up with. And damn it, it's important to learn this stuff. Like that. What the hell was that? I don't even know. So you got the... I don't know. But then right there, back in the... Back into D, Aeolian. Did you hear that? Did he reach up for that F sharp there? He did, didn't he? That crazy bastard. Love it, love it. Freaking love this guy. So all I'm doing here is I'm guessing, and this is not correct, or note for note I should say, but I'm guessing 3 note per strings, keeping the sequence, starting on F, because I see him do it, right? And I'm thinking straight up D major, or D minor, or F major. Right? I have a whole section in my courses on Guitar Gate on 3 note per strings and learning all the different things in sets of 3 because it's so prevalent in this type of music, sequencing, thinking in sets of 3, finding the notes to fit the rhythm. That's why these 3 note per string things are something that I preach, because you're not gonna pick this. This is meant for legato, you know. Obviously sloppy at it, but so I'm guessing that, and then he brightens it up with like a bend and one of his signature little things that soars and sings after the 3 note. Yeah. I swear I'm hearing some C sharps in there. That's the nuts right there. Again, one of the 4 for 6, right? But then ends up with it. Like, knows where the targets are. Again, always targeting that E, right? But that again, this enough, Randy, you win. The key takeaways here. And who gave me this? Keith Simmons. Keith, thanks for being a student. Thanks for supporting the channel. Thanks for dropping this in here and leaving the blood all over the floor for everybody. The key takeaways when you're spending your time to learn this, right, is 1, learn the basic form, right? But the point is that it has a basic D minor harmonic structure to it. The chords match it. It all works. Don't forget about the E diminished, right? But then during the lead parts, it's such a mix between crafted arpeggio-based things, sequenced, mostly sextuplets or sets of 6 or sets of 3, but these are triplets based. These are 3 to 6 notes equally subdivided. And big bends that are like singable hooks that non-musicians are going to grab. And lastly, using little harmonic devices like the major third to be that leading tone back to D, that flat 9 right in front of the D, that little color. Those little classical devices, when you learn those, put words to it, right? Not just that's an outside note. Put words to it, like the little trills. And that's what's going to bridge that gap between doing just guitar-centric things where you're learning the patterns, you're learning the sequences, like you're trying stuff that piano players and other people wouldn't do naturally because the pattern isn't there, but we can just say 1, 2, 4, 1, 2, 4, 1, 2, 4, 1, 2, 4. Find stuff that sounds good. Put words to describe to yourself and to others why it sounds good, because then you can use it forever. That's the harmonic part. The thing to focus on for the rhythm part is in these sequences, in these fast parts, even in the arpeggiated stuff, notice that this is not MIDI playing this. It is not equal attack, equal duration for each one. There is a very specific subdivision of the pulse, which you need to articulate to get. It's not, right? It's, right? Or, it's those things. All those might be written the same way with maybe little accents over it. But the point is, once you get the patterns down, when you start practicing your scales and everything like that and your sequences, there's 3 note per string, things like that. Once you get them down, start feeling the pulse within the pulse, the bigger groove, where the drums and the bass would click within those patterns. That's where you lock in. That's where you lock in. And then you build the notes kind of around that. I don't even know what else to say. This was a good old-fashioned beating for sure. I love you all so much. Thank you, Kevin. If you guys enjoyed this, the nature of this channel, please subscribe. Tell your friends. Please like. Drop me a link in the comments of where you think we should go next. It really helps with the algorithm and just to let me know if if this is well received. And if you want to be like Kevin, you're curious about the curriculum that I wrote from beginner to, as advanced as you see me. But get involved with the community, which will help you stay motivated and inspired to pick this thing up every day instead of doing something else. And to get access to this page to choose the next videos that come out, because I give priority to my students, obviously, just like the ones that used to come into the room. Click the first link in the description. I'd love to have you Guitargate. I would make this all possible. We're just trying to get a little bit better each day. Do it with me. Cheers.